Hi, and welcome to this very special episode of Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. Hey, this is Mike from Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter, and I'm here with Richard Catterjohn.
Hey, everybody.
This is a very special episode, and I cannot do it justice. I'm going to let this man right here tell you why.
Yeah, as of December the 16th of this year, 2017, it'll be 15 years that we've been doing a show.
Mazel tov!
Yeah, 15 years. It was 2002. We experimented a little bit before, but the actual airing on Lima's local access channel was on December the 16th, 2002. And
yeah.
It had Dave and Peanut in the old Comic Connection, and then it just grew from there.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I wasn't around at the very beginning, but...
you came in around 7. You did a guest spot here and there.
Yeah. I had been friends with all of these guys for a while. One thing to keep in mind was, given the time period, the internet wasn't as proliferant as it is today.
You couldn't get video out there. Trust
me.
I was trying.
No. Because one of the things I can remember about the state of the internet was, it was around the same time that the original South Park, The Spirit of Christmas, was making its rounds. And even for like the small 5-minute video, it was like, if you were lucky enough to find it, you hit the download button and you didn't expect a phone call for the next 3 days.
Yeah, because it was dial-up at the time.
Yeah. So you want to talk about ahead of the curve.
Yeah, because... I still remember, we did the several seasons. It was like 2005 we lost the local access. Mm-hmm. And then we was trying different ways to get online at that time. We filmed a couple episodes, like episode 60 was the last one. Mm-hmm. And that was Dave, Peanut, and Logan. They were together at that time. We were doing stuff. And then... that was the very first episode ever to go on to Google Video. We're not talking YouTube. Google
Video. There was
Video.
no YouTube.
Yeah, it was there. It was
just starting up.
Because they were buying it about the same time.
Right.
But it was there because that was where you saw all the cat videos and all this crazy stuff.
The big content wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
The shows weren't there yet.
So we went with the Google Video because they were actually trying to team up with iTunes at the time. Apple. Mm-hmm. They had a deal. You could literally put our videos up there online and download them to what they were having at the time was a player, a video player. One of the first what was it called? iPods.
Right.
Had video, a 60 gig at that time.
Yeah.
I bought the 60 gig. Oh yeah, it was like that big. I wish I could find it. I would try to find it, but that was my whole intention, was to put the show out there so people could download it and you could watch it later. Because you could just download it overnight and watch it later. And that's how it was. And it was, the codecs was for the iPod, and you could play it and stuff. And that's how we ran with it at the time. And then you came on board about that time, just after that. Yeah,
I came about, I was like I said, I'd been friends.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90 episodes, around, what was it, 98 or so?
It was around 98, because, I would have been out of high school by then.
No, not the year 98, the episode 98.
Oh, right,
So it would have been 2005, 6, 7... about 2007, 2008, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like the winter time there you came on. Cause
I had hair.
The basement.
I had hair. That's how long ago it was. I'm sure Richard will dig it up and find a picture. But I came about on the show because I'd been friends with him for a long time. I had my schedule of when I came and got my books, and it usually never really corresponded to when they were shooting the show. But I was...
You came on a few different times.
Yeah, I was lucky enough that there were certain times where you guys were shooting that you might be able...
on a Saturday. We would shoot on a Saturday and you would pop in.
And you at first you would just see me like in the background like, hey, what are you guys doing with that camera, And then Dave and or Peanut were like, hey, we're talking about this. You read it. You want to talk about it. And I sat down and... Well,
originally it was going to be called Comic Book Shop Talk. That was the original name of the show. But Peanut didn't like it. So they came up with a different one. That's where they came up, Behind the Counter.
Yeah.
Because they worked at the Comic Connection at the time.
Yeah. So did I. I think all of us at one point had spent time behind the counter, which, is where it came from.
Yeah.
And even still to this day, when we meet new people and we tell them about the show, it's like, well, where the name came about. It's like, we're never losing that name. Because when we first started doing the show,
glass counter.
we had a glass counter. It was us talking to people from behind the counter, and it was just... It was like nerd water cooler talk.
And then Chad would walk in, start talking, and go on.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be filming after hours,
Mm-hmm.
and Chad would just show up and come in and buy his comics.
Yeah, I know you guys are closed, but I saw the lights on. It's just like, no, okay.
So it was just a bunch of guys hanging out at a comic store.
Yeah, which was great for me because keep in mind this was the early 2000s. Geekery and the nerddom hadn't quite hit the mainstream yet. We don't mean to sound like hipsters, like, oh, we were into comic books before comic books were cool, but we were into comic books before comic books were cool. And it was just great that, I was able to find these like-minded people, and really most of the time it was, you'd forget that the camera was there. Especially for me, I've gone back and watched some of the earlier stuff. It was rough, like, I really liked in issue 17 when that new Rob Liefeld guy was introduced, his artwork, but then you would forget about the camera, and it was just like, he sucks, you forgot about it, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be comic reviews. Well, comics came in on Thursday. We filmed Thursday night. No one read anything by Thursday night. We didn't have that much traffic through there, guys. There wasn't that much traffic at the Comic Connection. Yeah. So it was all fun, It was more for fun,
It really was, which is one of the things I've taken away from this over the years. Is we've had people ask us, what our goal of the show is, and my answer has always been to just have fun.
Yeah.
I don't do this because I want to be internet famous. I don't want to do this, to get some lucrative deal. I do this because it's fun.
Well, our first road trip was only because of the Iron Sheik was being at Pack Rat.
Yeah, that's right.
And Dave and Peanut, because you couldn't go, because you had to, because you was going to go.
Yep.
This is 2007, because you were just slowly coming on the show.
Yeah.
And we heard about that was going to happen, so Dave and Peanut and me, we drove around Pack Rat, and that's how we met Jamie and Teresa. And that's how the road trip started, If it wasn't for that being so productive. I mean, that's where we met Daryl Banks.
Oh my God.
Dave Akins, Joe Corney, a bunch of the artists that was set up and everything. It was like a little mini con, and that's where they got all their mini cons started from. So and we've been down there for many since then.
Yeah. I think my first real experience at a comic book convention was because of the show, which is one of the things I'm most grateful for. I want to say it was Gem City.
Gem City, yeah. That was Marv Wolfman, when Marv Wolfman was there, and who else was there? Was someone else? Because he followed us around because of Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was all fun,
And then I think it was there at Gem City that we really realized that, I don't want to say a market because, we're not doing it for profit, but the audience.
Liked our road trips.
Yes, they did. They very much did, and that's become one of the big staples of the show is being able to go to different comic book conventions and
talk with creators and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I know one of the perks to it is a lot of the people that I'm friends with who were like me before I was introduced to the show, that the idea of going to a comic book convention was still kind of like, I'm not really sure. They watched the shows, they saw how much fun that we had at the shows, and have been going to the comic book conventions ever since then.
Yeah, we've gone all the way to Detroit a few times.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone Fort Wayne several times, all the way down to Louisville a few times.
Yeah.
We've gone outside the state a few different times, and then all the shows in Ohio and Gem City, like every year. We went to Mid-Ohio before it was Wizard, and we just now went back to Wizard this year. And, and we're hoping to get to a couple more Wizards this year, or coming year.
Yeah.
And we're going to do some shows. We're not giving that up,
No.
This is just kind of a little reflection video where it's been 15 years. A lot of people doesn't realize this show's been around for 15 years, and the whole network itself's been around 25 years. years.
That's what a lot of people don't understand is, because you've been doing this, with our friend Gary.
Yeah, way back in '92 that's when we first started everything.
Yeah.
And there was some times in between where there was gaps, so it hasn't been constant, but and that's why actually this show happened was because of what we did back in Kenton on the local access there was why, and actually the whole thing was I was testing equipment out so I could do the sport and sports talk or scene or whatever that was called, and that's why, and we were testing equipment out, and that's why we did the comic show, because I knew that was easiest for me to create a show, and it worked, and they put it on the air, because the ones at Time Warner liked it, and we put it on.
So keep that in mind, especially with the popularity that geek culture has developed over the past decade.
Right.
We've been doing this for a long time, people.
We even did live before live was even a thing.
Yes, it was.
Because we had that weird... I found this website that did live streaming. Before live streaming was even popular, like on Facebook stuff. It was called... I think it was just called Live Video. Was the site.
It was either Live Video or Live Wire, but I want to say it was Live Video.
I think it was Live Video. We actually streamed an episode, which we recorded too, but your cousin, out in Oklahoma?
Yep.
Watched it and was
texting me.
Yeah. Or not, no, IMing you.
IMing me,
Yes.
Yeah.
That was back in the days of IMing,
Yeah.
So it was wild, We actually streamed the show, but that service just went belly up or something. That's not even around.
I think it was one of those ones where the idea hadn't caught up with the technology yet.
Yeah, just like our favorite social media didn't catch up. MySpace. We was posting videos on MySpace.
Yeah.
There's a couple episodes on MySpace that I don't even have the original copy of that I'm trying to find. I'll probably just have to copy it right off of MySpace because I don't have one of those copies. So
just set the video camera up in front of the computer monitor.
There's better ways to do it, but yeah, that's we tried to use social media, integrate the two together. We were trying back then.
Yeah,
it just we were way ahead of everything.
Yeah,
I wish people watched more.
We understand that
we're from Ohio.
We're from Ohio, and we understand that. The marketplace has changed. You used to be able to get people to sit down for a half-hour show.
Right. Yeah, we were trying to still do half-hour shows online, which isn't working.
No, not when there's cat videos a click away. But, we've had to change. We've had to adapt. And one of the things that we've taken away from doing the show is we've done panels the last few comic book conventions we went to about podcasting.
Right.
And we always mention, we're not just podcasting. We still
audio,
but we still bring it back to the video. We still bring it back to this. And it always boils down to, if we can do it, you can do it.
There's several different ways, and just like with Facebook now, it's easier than heck. If you got a smartphone of any type, you can just hit a button, you can stream live.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that bad. I mean, easy.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, where was this when we wanted to do it? You know.
I think one of the big takeaways is when we tell people that this is something that you can do. We want to see more people do it because. I'm not going to go all sappy, but just doing this show and doing it with Richard has been a huge, huge positive influence on my life, because doing this show, I have gotten to meet and become legitimately friends with people that I might not have had it not been for the show. People like Molly Durst, who's one of my favorite human beings in the entire world. Like you said, Daryl Banks, we've gotten to meet Rodney Fike. Justin Wasson,
Sean Forney, the first person was even on local
Sean
access.
Forney, yes.
He came all the way up from Bowling Green area to be on our show.
Yes.
Through Lima. He drove through Lima in the dark.
Yes. Which if you're from Ohio, you know that takes a lot of balls. But just so many people, and you start off with, a mic in your hand, like, I really like your work. Would you mind if I interviewed you? You do the interview, and then you start talking to that person, and then you realize after the next couple of years, you're legitimately friends with these people. And a vast majority of my friends have come from doing this show. And when we reflect on doing this show, it's what we want to, to convey to other people who are kind of thinking about, if you don't do video, audio is just, is the same, it's...
it just asked Amanda. Amanda does her show.
Yes, a special
And-
thank you to Amanda, who is one of our podcast's sponsors.
Right.
Her podcast is phenomenal. It's AGP, Amanda
And
Gilliam
they're moving into
Presents.
that gaming digital world,
Mhm.
where they stream their video feeds.
Yeah.
I mean, we did that
God, we did
a
that
long
for
time
Mar-
ago.
Oh man, we did that for Mario Kart back when the Wii first came out.
We went to Dave's apartment all the time.
Yes.
And we would do boxing, and we did Final Fantasy.
Yep.
The Final Fantasy was our big one. We did this before. It wasn't
Yeah.
live. It was video, but we literally, what we did is we put a camera in front of TV, like you said,
Yeah.
and recorded them playing, or us playing,
Mhm.
We did, what was it, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, whatever. We did a bunch of those, and that was way back in the day.
We were all in the same room. We didn't have these LAN or we
didn't do that. We just,
We were sitting there. You had to watch that split screen or
Dave's apartment there, we had all the TVs hooked up.
Yes.
That was crazy times after we lost the Comic Connection.
yeah.
Missed the Comic Connection.
We really do. It's
Here's a couple pictures. Okay.
which is another reason why you should go out and support your local comic book store, because you don't know what you got until it's gone. Man, it's just, it really has. Doing this, I can't believe 15 years.
Yeah, and we got to thank everybody who does watch,
Yes.
I
Thank
mean,
you. Thank you so much. Doing the show, like I said, or I mentioned earlier, doing the show has added just so much to me. It's part of the reason why I'm a photographer that I am now, because I started off, I always liked photography, but I didn't really get into it until I started. It's like, we should really be taking pictures here at the conventions. And then the more I took pictures, the more I remembered how much I liked taking pictures, and then it spilled over into my outside life. And doing the show and through, like David and them is part of the reason why I'm a cosplayer. Because the first costume I really wore was for Dave and Sarah's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
But then it was OhioCon.
Episode 200.
Yep. But it was OhioCon where, you know what, I'm gonna wear the doctor costume, and it was like a half hour in the door. I'm like, this is my life now.
Doctor.
God, I will never forget that. That was so great. This is a reminder. This is for all my the older viewers out there. If you remember the movie Spies Like Us, the great scene with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase when they meet the doctors and it's doctor. I had that moment coming up the escalator at OhioCon as an entire row of other people dressed up as a doctor were coming down, and it was literally doctor, and doctor. And it was literally that moment that I realized this is what I want to do. And me being in costume at the conventions has become kind of a running staple, and it, once again,
It's a running joke. No.
it's a running joke.
Just tease it.
What joke? What are you talking about? Joke. I have no joke.
I'll just tease you, Mike.
But it's something that boiled over into my everyday life. So yeah, I mean, like I said, not to get all mushy on you, but now that I've got you on camera and you can't go away, I want to thank you for putting this into my life. I really do appreciate.
What was your basement?
It was my basement. Yeah.
I missed that basement. That was a cool
so
basement.
do I.
That was a
I
cool
really
basement.
do. That was a great basement. God, I remember.
Because we had that makeshift prompt reader. That was
Teleprompter, we had the computer.
It was a CT monitor.
Oh my God, that thing
big
was like
ass thing that I brought
900 pounds.
into your basement.
Yeah.
To use, and I had a laptop hooked up to it so that he could they have like a teleprompter.
This is how much the show means to me. This show, my relationship with this show has lasted longer than my marriage. So it's really true. The important things in your life stay with you. But yeah, thank you for the last 15 years. This show's lasted longer than my hair. But yeah, so much, and we really do. We want to give a thank you to everyone who's helped put on the show.
Part of it.
That has watched us. Thank you so much. I really wish there was a way.
We can't do that.
No,
I
my
can't even do
God.
that. Just watch. The one thing I do have lined up is I'm trying to move every single episode off of the pseudo website behind the counter over to UVN, so it's all under UVN.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be under undergroundvideonetwork.com. We'll have everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying. So you can go back and watch all the old episodes. And I even found an episode that was lost from back in the day. Episode 23.5. So that'll be out there too.
Ooh, he's throwing in the points, so you know
Well,
it's obscure.
We filmed it sometime between 23 and 24, and I thought 24 was never a real episode until I found the tape because I didn't label it. And it was actually, there was an episode 24.
Now let me explain to our younger viewers at home.
It's
He
VHS.
mentioned tape, and
It was-
you're maybe saying to yourself, what's a tape? It's
The local access channel in Time Warner was still using VHS to play the local access. I upgraded it to DVD because I rigged a DVD player so when the power turned on, it would start. So that's how our show progressed because because I was forced to do that because one of the players died.
Yeah.
And the other guy had come on before us. And he was on VHS, so. But we were digital tape. All our shows were recorded on digital tape. Not to hard drive, but digital tape. But it was digital.
Yeah, because that was, God, hard drives were...
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So yeah, we've been doing this a long time, and we plan on doing it for a long time. So if you're watching this and you've ever been a part of the show or have had anything to do with the show, thank you very much, and you're never getting rid of us because we're not going away anytime soon.
Because, we just do it just because we do it.
Yeah. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is fun. This is fun for me.
It's tiresome sometimes.
It does. There are some days, to warn people out there who are thinking about getting into it, even the funnest things can be work. But stick with it. It's worth it. And doing a show like this for this many years has been worth it. And if you ever have any doubt, just look through your Facebook friends list and really take stock of how many people are there because of the show that you do. So, on behalf of myself, Underground Video Network, Behind the Counter, officially, I would just like to take a chance to thank everybody who's helped us get where we are today. Rich, say it. Come on. Thank the people, Richard.
Thanks, everybody.